name's Token D Rock here with another stream. It is Friday, August 12th, 10:27 a.m. Central Standard Time. You're watching this live. Overall, crypto has been more or less oscillating around the same area it was yesterday. Overall crypto market cap sitting at $1.139 trillion. Bitcoin dominance has dropped just a little bit to 40.0%. ETH dominance has actually been climbing a bit, sitting at 20.1% right now. We can see that Bitcoin has come down a little bit. It was sitting, I believe, right around 23.7, 23.6 not too long ago. ETH has been on the rise, on the come up for the past few days now, and nearing $1,900. BNB at 323 roughly, Cardano at 53 cents, Solana at $43. A lot of these altcoins have been more or less right around the same price. ETH has been climbing though, and we're going to go into that a little bit, why that is here in the short term, in the next minute or two. Looking at the 1 hour chart, we can see that there is this sort of overhead resistance that the bulls need to break through for Bitcoin to see higher price action. We've just been over and over been rejected more or less at 24,500 to roughly 25,000. Let's not say we can't find some support in this range, but I've been hearing a lot of people calling for $28,000, $29,000 Bitcoin as soon as we kind of break out of this range between 24,500 and 25,500. But let me know what you guys think. Again, looking at 1 day chart, we can see that Bitcoin is more or less in this bear flag. May or may not be invalidated here in the next few days, but time will tell. I don't know if you guys heard, but the Ethereum merge has been scheduled for roughly September 15th or September 16th. This is pretty big stuff, you guys. This is more or less why we are seeing a bunch of money hop into Ethereum in the past week or so. That's why we're seeing Ethereum dominance rising slowly but surely. But just thought I would share that with you guys. Fun fact, the Bitcoin network settled over $62 trillion worth of Bitcoin in the last 12 months. Pretty big stuff. Over in South Africa, SMS service to send Bitcoin without internet launched. This would be pretty crazy. They were able to do so. Being able to send Bitcoin without internet service would be rather bullish if you ask me. Swan Bitcoin customer data hacked through newsletter provider. This is a second major data hack of Swan Bitcoin customers this year. No bueno. Just going to close these tabs as we move along. Pardon me. From the Bitcoin conference, Bitcoin has roughly the same amount of users as the internet had in 1998. Just think about that, you guys. I mean, 1998 was roughly 24 years ago. I was born second to last month of 96. So just putting things into perspective, there was not that many people on the internet in 1998. It was mostly used at workplaces and such, universities. Some people had computers at their home. I remember having a computer at my house when I was roughly 4 or 5 years old. I don't know if I had a computer in my household when I was younger than that, but just putting things into perspective, we're still super early. I was talking to a few friends, I think probably a good 5 to 10 years away from super mass adoption. It's not to say some certain things in the market can accelerate that process, but from Michael Saylor, he says 2 years ago, MicroStrategy embarked on a Bitcoin strategy, adopting Bitcoin as its primary treasury reserve asset, acquiring 21,454 Bitcoins at an aggregate purchase price of $250 million, or $11,653 per Bitcoin. Pretty bullish. Bitcoin is obviously a little bit over 2x of what Michael Saylor first bought some of his Bitcoin at, but pretty cool nonetheless. New Vesperine Energy has raised $4.3 million to convert landfill methane gas into electricity for Bitcoin mining. Again, defeating that old narrative that Bitcoin mining is harmful for the environment. Going to destroy that argument slowly but surely. BlackRock just launched a private Bitcoin fund. They manage $10 trillion, over $10 trillion in assets for their clients. Have now adopted Bitcoin as a legitimate asset for Wall Street and all financial institutions across the world. Again, this is pretty bullish. Personally, I'm not a big fan of these big asset management companies hopping in the space, but could argue it is required for more and more people to look at Bitcoin and crypto as legitimate assets moving forward. Strike has partnered with Visa to launch a new card. Good to see that. BlackRock, Bitcoin is the primary subject of interest from our clients within the crypto asset space. Bullish for Bitcoin, the world's largest asset manager is offering Bitcoin, and you're bearish. Again, a lot of people have super bearish sentiment. Some people are calling for $5,000 Bitcoin. Not saying it can't happen, but I think it's very unlikely. Like we've discussed many times before, not financial advice, just educational entertainment purposes only. I think Bitcoin is gonna bottom somewhere between 11 and 13K, but that's just my personal opinion. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. BlackRock says central bank, or Barry Silbert from BlackRock says central banks now have an easy way to invest in Bitcoin. It says pretty accurate. It was BlackRock that put pressure on Elon Musk regarding Bitcoin energy consumption when Tesla bought $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. Now BlackRock is diving headfirst into Bitcoin, effectively telling the corporate world Bitcoin is legit. Go ahead and buy some. Agreed, pretty bullish. Anthony Scaramucci says BlackRock's Bitcoin trust will create a demand shock. Remember, there are only 21 million Bitcoin total, and it said that somewhere between 3 and 5 million Bitcoin is gone forever because people forgot their passwords and such. Scaramucci also says if Bitcoin goes to 300,000 a coin, it won't matter whether you bought it at 20,000 or 60K. When Bitcoin goes to 300K, forget about it. Doesn't matter. Elon Musk trolling when the country that revolted over taxes hires 87,000 new IRS agents. It is rather ironic that we literally we literally fought for our own dependence over a tax on tea. Taxes as low as 2%. Now people are paying taxes upwards of like 20 to 30% on the lower end. On the higher end, some people are paying 40-50% taxes. It's pretty crazy. There are loopholes though, and I guarantee you a lot of people in Congress use those loopholes along with their buddies and their family members. Dylan LeClaire posted something regarding MakerDAO founder, and he's basically saying in a chat via Discord that they think they should seriously consider preparing to depeg from USD. Here's more or less the conversation. A little bit concerning if you ask me, considering we've already had the tragedy with UST and stuff and Luna. I think this would be another super blow to the crypto space, but we'll see how it plays out. Right now, there are major power outages striking downtown Toronto. It's pretty big stuff. Then we have Justin Trudeau basically saying if you don't want to get a medical procedure, that's your choice, but don't think you can get on a plane or train beside someone who took the medical procedure and put them at risk. It's rather comical because this man has been seen on his private plane, hopping off of it with no mask. It seems like he lives on a different plane of existence. Rules of physics and sicknesses and illnesses by his own science and stuff doesn't affect him. You know, the rules of physics and science don't apply to him, apparently. He says, regardless of the fact we are overruling your fundamental rights, we are still going to go ahead and do it. He will do it again and again. Uh, Climate change, unfortunately, is being weaponized as a way for elite people like this to gain more and more authority over everyday life. This is Klaus Schwab's World Economic Forum proposes to automate censorship, hate speech, and disinformation with AI fed by subject matter experts. These subject matter experts, I'm sure, are the fact checkers, the people who claim to know what's what and always have your best interest in mind. So nothing to worry about here. Over in Norway, they are getting digital ID with facial recognition, and the state wants to track citizens' food purchases. In Sweden, we have a credit card that tracks your CO2 emissions, and people are getting microchip implants for cashless payments. Remember when all this stuff was considered conspiracy theory, as something out of a dystopic novel or movie or such, other form of media? But the fact that it's going down in real time across the globe is rather concerning, and very, very few people are calling it out. Over in EU, at the headquarters in Brussels, they're burning hay, and they're kind of throwing it around and shit. They're just burning it as demonstration that they're in opposition to what the EU, by and large, is adopting as policy. Over in Novi Sad Parliament, the Serbian farmers are protesting, joining along with the farmers of the Netherlands, along with the farmers in Spain. They're also rising up, uh, and they're rising up due to production costs, which have been on the rise and have become unsustainable. We don't like to leave the fields to come and protest, but the situation is dramatic. It will be a very hot autumn in Europe and beyond. Italian farmers rising up and blocking the road that leads from Rome to Naples. This after yet another attempted suicide by a colleague whose company ended up at auction due to the accumulated debts for the forcible culling of entire cattle. Now will be total chaos. Again, the Peter Sweden always hitting the nail on the head with the hammer. We are facing a food crisis, yet the Netherlands wants to shut down 11,200 farms plus in order to meet climate goals. How does this make any sense? I don't know. Does this make sense to you guys? Let me know what you think down below. Spain bans offices, bars, and shops from setting AC below 80 degrees. Are they going to have temperature polices going to each restaurant, office space, and bar, making sure the thermostat's not below 80 degrees? You know, like, come on. This is ridiculous. I hope they're applying the same measures on government buildings too, because that would only be fair. You know, if we're trying to stop uh, climate change. Here we have Attorney General Merrick Garland personally approved Trump raid. This is pretty crazy stuff. A lot of people are saying this is straight out of a banana republic where the political party in power uses its power and influence to go after its political opposition, which I would say that's for the most part what this administration is doing to the previous one. Um, whether you are red or blue, this is not good, and I think it's a little concerning that FBI did what they did. But
the church committee hearings admitted that the FBI had 2,000 members of the KKK working for them nationwide. Did you know? The 28
FBI in
pages
bed with
show
the
that 2
KKK.
of the 9/11 hijackers were tied to Saudi intelligence and rented a room from an FBI informant in California before the attacks. The director of the FBI who kept this covered up for years? Robert Mueller. Did you know? The FBI lied about the shooting first in the Lavoy Finicum case. They tried to cover up the shooting by picking up their casings. One FBI agent was put on trial for the cover-up, but a Portland jury acquitted him. Did you know?
Crazy.
The Pulse nightclub's gunman was an FBI informant for more than a decade. Prior to the 2016 mass shooting, they knew the sun was a threat, but they did nothing. And James Comey vowed to get to the bottom of this. He never did. Did you know? In 2005, Jeffrey Epstein was under an 11-month FBI investigation. 40 underage girls at the time alleged that Epstein assaulted them. After Epstein gave information to the FBI, federal charges were dropped. Who was the head of the FBI then? Robert Mueller. Did you know the Boston bombers were...
Interesting, guys. Just something to think about. What we should totally trust the FBI with everything that comes out of their agents' mouths. I don't know, not good. This is a meme of some shit libs who are just so caught up in the theatrics of everything and the fake narratives that are being pushed by certain people who want more and more authority over your life, but they fall for the theatrics nonetheless. What's funny is a lot of people I know who are Trump supporters are always like, "Oh, let's back the blue," blah blah blah. They don't bat an eye to the idea that 70,000 home raids are conducted a year, and this guy says that could happen to any of us. And then they're finally like, waking up out of their NPC mindset. Oh shit, that really could happen to any of us. This guy's just like, yeah, I've been saying that, and it took Mr. Trump's house being raided for some NPCs to be waking up. Just something to leave you guys with. Justin, German health minister Lauterbach apparently received his last injection 271 days ago. This raises questions considering he's pushing a policy that would allow you basically to have a app on your phone that displays a certain color. For example, if you're green, supposedly you're not infected or whatever. You don't have the illness that is C19, blah blah blah. If you're orange, you may have been exposed to someone who has red on their phone. If you have red, then you're possibly infected or have the illness. Just something to think about. It's kind of weird. He's not following his science. It seems like he's 6 months overdue for a booster, but that's just my opinion. What do you guys think? Personally, I think Bitcoin and crypto may see a relief rally here in the short term, the next few weeks or so. But I sounded like Australian. I think ultimately we are going to go back down here, probably in the next few months, maybe not the next few weeks, but once the midterm elections are over, I think we will start seeing some further downside in the markets. But that's just me. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. If you did, you're over on YouTube, please like and subscribe, hit the notification bell to be notified when we go live next. I will see you guys next week on Monday, August 15th, 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time for another stream. Until then, hope you guys all have a great weekend. Take care and invest wisely. See you.